Hello everyone! I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha, and it is a cold, rainy, gloomy day today. So I thought I'd do a video outside to test my mettle, to see how I can deal with the cold, because there's more coming. Alright, anyways. In this video I wanted to speak to you about dating an INFJ, and how I really think that INFJs are kind of like sand. And if you ever heard of the analogy, holding sand in your hand, it rhymes, but when you hold sand extremely tightly in your hand, the more you squeeze it, the more it kind of slips away from in between your fingers. But the moment you kind of let go a little bit and kind of just hold the sand in your hand without any grasping, without any attachment, without any clinginess, it stays. It stays in your hand forever and ever and ever. And you're probably thinking, whoa, where did this come from? But I was literally sitting there, as I always do before sleeping. I was kind of thinking about things and reflecting on the day. And I realized that a lot of times the reasons why non-INFJs have issues with INFJ dating or dating an INFJ is because of the fact that they hold on too tight. Because they don't realize that INFJs are like sand. Because they don't realize that they're actually supposed to let go a little bit or a lot, depending on their situation, in order to keep their INFJ with them. If you read anything from Jamila Perry, I think that's her full name. I hope I remembered it right and I spelled it right or pronounced it right. But she's dating an INTJ, I think. No, she's an INTJ dating an INFJ, something like that. Anyways, she talks a lot about these kind of things, and she is brilliant because she's really kind of brought it down to a science. Actually, in fact, she should be doing videos on dating an INFJ because she's brilliant at it. She's done it in a way where she really just tries to assess the situation instead of jumping to conclusions, and she really just steps back and lets go as much as possible, which is exactly what you need to do if you're dating an INFJ right now or wanting to date an INFJ. Is that the more you can let go, the more you can just let it all go, all of your expectations, all of your future plans and goals or dreams or aspirations about this person, all of that just needs to be let go. And the minute you can do that, the minute you can let it all go and just enjoy the present moment with that person, with that INFJ, that's when you'll really realize that, oh, okay, cool, I'm in actually a great relationship right now. Because the minute you start grasping at that INFJ, the minute you start clinging onto them or asking them for assurances or asking them for, the future, what is going to happen in the future? Do you think you like me? Do you want to stay with me? Do you want to be with me? All of these questions, they just irk an INFJ. It just irritates them, makes them feel like you're kind of trying to restrict them, you're trying to put them into a cage, and they've been in cages all of their lives. Their family did it to them, society does it to them. They just don't want to be in a cage anymore. We don't want to be in a cage anymore as INFJs. We want to be free, like birds are. Even birds are in cages of the sky, I heard recently. I thought it was so beautiful. So of course there's still going to be cages, but we really can, if we can avoid them, we avoid the cages as much as possible. We just can't deal with them. It's just too much for us. It irritates us, and in fact what happens is that instead of loving you more, instead of wanting to be with you, instead of wanting to, aspire to be in a relationship with you, we run away from you. We break it off, or we kind of go into our cave and we don't reply back to you, or all of that you probably experience if you're dating an INFJ. Now, you don't want your INFJ to go into a cave, because the minute they go into a cave, you don't know how long they're going to be in there. They might be in there for a few days, maybe a few hours only, but sometimes they might be in there for a few weeks or a few months, and you've lost them at that point because no one's going to wait that long. And even if you do wait that long, you don't know what they're going to be like when they come back out again, right? They might be the same, they might be different, they might have completely changed themselves, you don't know. So you really don't want to push them over the edge and make them go into their cave. As soon as they start retreating into a cave, you know that you've pushed them too hard. You know that you've kind of clung on too hard. You know that you've kind of grasped too tightly. And you need to just let it go. Now, I'm sure you're hearing this if you're dating an INFJ and you're thinking, but I've already let go so much. And I'm sure you have. Unfortunately, you need to let go even further. And in reality, what I would say to you, which is probably a little bit difficult to hear, is that you need to lose any kind of aspiration or expectation for the future with this INFJ. Unless and until they have told you specifically that, I love you, I want to be with you for the rest of my life, let's get married, or let's be in a relationship. Unless they've said those words to you, and once they say those words, I mean, they're absolutely certain that that's true and they won't go back on it unless you do. But unless they say those words, it means that they're not ready yet. They're not there yet. If we are ready, if we're sure, and we're all in. But if we're not sure, we're not all in at all, we're actually all out. And we step in a little bit, and then we step back out because we're scared, and we step in, and we step back out. You don't want to play that game with them because it's irritating to you, I'm sure, as well. You don't want to play that game with anyone, really. Not an INFJ, not a non-INFJ, not anyone. And so what you need to do, as I said, is as soon as you realize that you're holding on to something, some kind of even future aspiration that you're like, oh, we're going to go there next year, and then we're going to spend this time together, and then he's going to do this, or she's going to do that with me, or we're going to go on holiday together, or, 2 years from now, I'm going to meet his parents. Like, all of these things, all these expectations that we have of relationships in general, you need to kind of let it go because you don't know actually. The problem is INFJs don't run on a particular time schedule, right? We're not like, all right, cool, so we've dated for 6 months, all right, I think it's time for us to meet his parents, or, we've dated for 7 months, and I think it's time for us to move in together. We've dated for a year, I think it's time for me to propose to her. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. I'm sure it doesn't work like that for anyone, but I think there are some people who kind of think of it as a schedule. They're like, all right, so we've done this, we've kind of gone through this amount of time, it's time to move on to the next phase. That kind of schedule, that kind of ridiculousness doesn't actually work with us. Because who made up that schedule? And who decides that everyone needs to live by that freaking schedule? And who decided that we need to do that just because everyone else is doing it, right? And if you know anything about your INFJ, the minute everyone else starts doing something, they're like, no, I'm not doing it. Even if it's the best idea on the planet, we're like, no, everyone else is doing it, I don't want to do it, right? That's one of the reasons why you'll find a lot of INFJs not using iPhones or Apple products because they're like, everyone's using them, I don't want to be another one of those users. So what you need to do is you need to step back. You need to step away, you need to give them their space, and actually, in fact, what you need to do is take care of yourself. As I've said before, a lot of people message me asking me the same question over and over again. What should I do with the INFJ that I'm dating? He keeps on stepping away from me. He keeps on pulling away and going into his cave. Or she keeps on going into her cave and not messaging me, things like that. And I'm always saying the same thing. Step back, step away, take care of your own self. Start doing self-care stuff. Start taking care of your own things that you've been ignoring because you've been running after this or chasing after this INFJ. Start taking care of yourself, start working on your own projects, start, going out and having fun, and just do your own thing. Forget about your INFJ. They will come to you when they're ready. They will come to you when they're ready. I want to tattoo this on my forehead so you can see it every single time I do a video. But really, literally, they will come to you when they're ready. They will come to you when they're ready. But you need to give them that time and space. Most people, unfortunately, what happens is that not only do they get impatient, but they get afraid. They're like, oh no, oh my God, my INFJ is turning away from me or running away from me. What if they leave me and find someone else? And this is something that I actually get a lot as well. And I'm thinking to myself, do you know how many people this INFJ is talking to you? Probably zero. Talking to? Zero. They don't have any other people they're talking to. They're not interested in anyone. They just don't have time for it. They have barely enough energy to deal with you. They're not going to go after someone else. It's just not going to happen. They don't have time for it. They don't have the energy. And so you don't need to worry about them falling in love with someone else. It's a rare case scenario. It's a rare thing that they actually fall in love with one person. They're not going to fall in love with two. So what you need to do, as I said, is stop worrying about the fact that they're going to leave you. If they're going to leave you, they would have left you already and stopped messaging you or stopped talking to you. So stop worrying about that. Stop worrying about the fact that they're going to fall in love with someone else because that's very, very unlikely. They're probably in their cave and they're not talking to anyone, not another human being for sure. And stop worrying about the future of the relationship. As it happens, it'll happen. Yeah, it'll progress as it needs to happen. It'll move forward as it needs to happen. You pushing it forward, or you pushing your INFJ, or you prodding or poking at them is not going to do anything. In fact, what it's going to do is going to push them further away from you. They're going to run away They're going to hide in their cave, and you're going to be even more miserable because you're not going to spend any time with them, and you're going to have no contact with them. So really, if possible, and I know this is going to be difficult, I understand it's going to be difficult, I understand it's difficult, but you really, if you want, stop treating your INFJ like there's something that they're going to be attached, that you're going to be attached to. They're not. Actually, as I said, they're like sand. The more you grasp at them, the more they're going to run away from you, the more they're going to slip away from your grasp. So you need to just relax and take it as a day at a time, even an hour at a time. Yeah, just forget about everything, forget about the future, and just live in the moment with your INFJ. Enjoy the time that you have with them, that they're not in their cave. And then if they're in their cave, let it go and have fun on your own. Chill out, do your thing, do your projects, watch TV, take care of yourself, and that's it. So I hope this makes sense. Maybe you didn't like this video because you're like, I don't want to hear this. But really, this is the truth. So I really wanted to do this video in order to share this with you. If you have questions about this, if you're dating an INFJ, and if you're interested in doing a coaching session with me, contact me. My email address is in the description below, and we can set something up. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.